do you want me to go again? And they like, Dan Bilesman literally started laughing. He's like, yeah, go. I was petrified of Big Walt, like in the locker room. I was honestly upset until probably my retirement speech. Like that's how long I was mad about this trade.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have our second guest on the Wingmen Podcast. This guy was a 2018 Stanley Cup champion with the Washington Capitals, a member of the 2014 Olympic team, went a legendary 4 for 6 in the shootout versus Russia from Warroad, Minnesota, TJ Oshie.
Let's go. Let's go. What's up? What's up,
Welcome,
boys? How we doing?
Thanks for coming on. How was the travel day from hell, first of all?
It wasn't great. You know, I thought Minnie to St. Louis be a nice little hop, and end up sitting on the runway for like 2.5 hours. So, but we're here. We made it. Just got my jacket off, got in the room. Beautiful Westin here in St. Louis.
Right near Ballpark Village.
I was going to say right for Wheelhouse for one after this.
Oh, no, I got to go to Obi Clark's, bro. Meet up with Jax and the boys. Yeah.
I love it. Is that tonight's plan, meeting them up?
Yeah. And then the Stars are in town. I was texting with Sagan, and we golfed together in Maine. And so I was going to meet up with them, hang out, grab a beer. A lot of boys back in St. Louis here. I don't get to see very much. Bish is back here, Ben Bishop. So
that's awesome. Well, we won't keep it too long. So you're there obviously with the ESPN. How's ESPN been so far? Been a lot of fun. Like, who's the crew? Who do you like the most working with? Seems like you've done like transition pretty unreal. Like, we love watching you.
Yeah, thanks. I worked a lot with Steve Levy at the beginning. That was all in studio. And that was great. He's been really good to me. We kind of bonded, you know, I think he's the only guy I've really like met up with and like went out for dinner the night before and, you know, kind of got that team mentality thing. And then this will be my third game in a row with Bucci in the last like week and a half tomorrow night. And so it's been awesome with him. We went out in Minnesota for one after the game, and that's really what you miss, right? You miss like being with the boys and hanging out, going out to dinners. But it's been great. It's honestly, there's so much more work that goes into it. I thought like, yeah, I'll work for ESPN, just go like check hockey, whatever. But apparently you got to know like who all the players are and like know some stats and some background stuff. So it's a lot harder than I thought it was, but it's nice to stay connected to the game. I miss just like going out there and grinding so much, but it's great to stay connected.
I love that. Are you guys back in Minnesota?
Yeah. So we moved back last summer. DC got to be a little tough just with 4 kids and travel sports starting, and so we're back and near my wife's family, and it's been great. Actually, my 9-year-old girl is like finally like really getting into hockey. She's like nuts, like head over heels for hockey, and so it's been great like watching her just like fall in love with the game and skating on the outdoor rinks and all the good stuff.
What's the town team that she's on? Because I was just at Okposo's son plays for Minnetonka with the Tonka jacket, the team jackets rolling in. We went to his game literally 2 days ago. It seems like a scene up there. I love it.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. She plays for Edina, so technically we're cake eaters. But it took me like a year to like actually tell my buddies from Warroad that we lived in Edina, because you know, back to like Henry Boucher days, it's a huge rivalry, and but no, it's great, and I have like Edina basketball stuff, I have Edina soccer stuff, you know, because like the dads get like the quarter zips and stuff. I haven't come to buy a Edina hockey thing yet, but I'm sure, you know, once your daughter's out there, and obviously she picks Ovi's number, so she's a little tiny grade 8. And so yeah, I'm sure the Edina hockey polo is coming at some point.
You're not wearing the Edina hockey polo when you're going back to like your hometown ever. You might get beat up on the side of the street there. That's so good. I mean,
even like wearing like North Dakota stuff, because like Warroad Roseau is the big rivalry. We're black and gold, they're green, And so like even wearing like my North Dakota green stuff, people are like, wait a second. And I'm like, no, it's North Dakota. We're good. Like everything's fine.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's all fun. A lot of good rivalries up in Mini.
No, I love that. I know we have a couple things. Like I'm just looking at your senior year stats, 100 points for like what was like. I know people don't know like how big Minnesota high school is. Like how was your experience that year? And like how sick was the tournament?
Mr. Hockey, right? Isn't that the award for best player?
It is. I lost to Brian Lee, who was actually my roommate my freshman year in North Dakota. So he won Mr. Hockey. I had an opportunity, or so I was told, to go to Shattuck my senior year. And we won our sophomore year, lost our second year. And so me and another guy that could have went to Lincoln, we were like, hey, let's just stay. Let's try to win another state championship. So we ended up staying. The year was unbelievable. There's a lot of small town teams up north that kind of go through like waves of like, depending on how many kids there are, there's like good years and bad years. And we ended up having a good team. We had a good age group. And so we went undefeated that year. And then won the state championship in like double OT. So it really, like, when we won that state championship, that was like, to me, as big as it gets. That was the Stanley Cup. And so I didn't even like realize that there was like something better than that. Just because I wasn't like a big hockey fan growing up. I didn't really watch hockey, never been to a game. And so that, to me, like, that was as good as it gets. And so it's cool now to be there and kind of have my kids see to it and go to high school games and see how big it really is. You sell out I guess now it's called Grand Casino Arena, but it was the XL. So the same thing that when you guys go to Minnesota, the same amount of fans that are there, that's the same amount of fans that are at the high school tournament for, high school kids. Sometimes there's ninth graders playing in tournaments. So you can imagine how nervous and big it gets.
Were they doing the all hockey hair team? Yeah, I was going to ask. Were they doing that back then too, or is that just all new?
So I don't know. No one ever mentioned that to me, but I remember my mom had her own hair salon for her whole life. So like my hair has been like 30 different colors in my life because she would just like experiment on me, and like I had all, whatever different haircuts. And so we were like, hey, let's all go bleach blonde for the tournament, just to like, it's like a team bonding thing. Up north, some like moms were like, my son's not dyeing his hair blonde. And so we end up going like try to go black gold every other for like the whole lineup. And that, to me, I'm not taking credit, but like, I don't remember there ever being like any type of hair thing going on. That was the first thing that I can remember. And then we kind of did it every year after that. But we didn't have like the big mullets and mustaches and stuff like that. We were still somewhat legit,
Just the full bleach. Brady and I were just talking before we came on, because we remember one of like the highlights, and we don't know if it was in high school or when you were at North Dakota, which we'll get into, but like we were obviously obsessed with you and Perron and Bergie and like all the guys that were way better than my dad when you guys came in. So we were like just so over him and like obsessed with you guys. And I remember we couldn't find the friggin' clip, but the YouTube video of you with like the tape ball in the locker room, and you did like the flip it around, the roll it down, punch it up,
like the punching, like keeping up in the air.
Yeah, the royal blue dress shirt, that dress shirt that everyone wore back
then. we were trying to find it. We just like, Quater was trying to, and we just couldn't find it. We'll work on that. But like, did you do that every game to like get your mitts going? Because your hands and your hand-eye was sick.
Yeah, it was an every game thing. And I did that a lot in the younger years in the NHL too. But it was really awesome. I had another guy on the team in Warroad, and we would juggle it back and forth. And it would be you go, on your blade, and then when you passed it, you'd flip over and go to your knob, and you'd see how many you get going. And gosh, we must have got up to like, 60, 70. Like we did it every day. And there's not much to do up in Warroad. So like we were like after the rink is connected to the high school, or it's just like on the backside of the parking lot. So after school, I would go to the rink. The varsity would practice first. We'd go on the ice. Practice would end. We'd walk to like a buddy's house, which is a block away. Eat. His mom would have dinner ready. We'd eat. go back to the rink. I wouldn't leave until like 9:30, 10 p.m. So we're at the rink like 6 hours a night, just hanging out. We're on the ice probably 2 or 3 different times. No coaches ever. It's just like kids playing hockey. And everything's free. You don't pay for anything. And so like all that time being like a rink rat, that just kind of went into like the hands, and, we didn't know we were working on it, right? We're just having fun.
Yeah. I remember too, like the one other thing that I was mentioning to Brady too, when you would stand, which people probably don't realize how hard this is, but behind the nets, or there's a huge netting to like protect the fans, and you would flip it. I have the vision like in my head, you'd flip it all the way over it. I don't know how you did it with like the curve or whatever, but it was sick. And so that's just like, I guess Brady and I grew up, obviously you saw us like going to the rink every day. So most of our favorite parts were just being able to screw around with you. What was, I know Brady wanted to ask about North Dakota because he was a college hockey guy, but why did you go there? One, obviously it's probably closest, and that was like your favorite thing growing up to watch, but why there? Like, who were some guys that you played with that maybe became really good NHLers, or guys that didn't even make it that were really good players that like really helped you?
Yeah. So North Dakota, my dad was like very big on me not like seeing scouts, meeting scouts, any college that sent me like their workout books or their programs. He just like hid them in a box in a closet that I never saw. And so I was just like strictly always playing just for like fun and love of the game. And North Dakota was the first the people that actually like came to Warroad and like was like introduced themselves and were like, hey, we'd love you to come on a visit or whatever, because it was close. It was an unofficial visit. I went there, met with them in the morning. I saw like the stick room, and then I was like, yeah, I'll go here. Like everyone got 12 free synergies. So I was like, I'll go here 100%. Just like tell me where to sign. And they're like, okay. Like we didn't even really need to get to like the coach's office. I was like, does everyone get these? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, I'm coming. I'll do it. Like my dad did the old trick where like we'd buy a stick and like 28 days in, we'd like snap it and bring it back to but like we didn't have a hockey store in Warroad, so we'd have to drive all the way to Grand Forks, North Dakota to go find like a hockey store and be like, oh yeah, my son broke it, 30-day warranty, brand new Synergy. It was
they're like, we see you once a month. Like this can't keep happening.
Yeah, I know, the kid's strong. But yeah, that was kind of like how it happened. Like I was just like, oh, I got to play more hockey. Great, I'll go. I probably would have went anywhere. Honestly, if I would have gotten a free hockey stick, I would have been anywhere. But no, I think for the players, the one that stands out right away is Johnny Toews. We were freshmen together. Johnny was only 17. We kind of went head to head like a good competitive teammate way in like everything we did. And honestly, I was like, I got better numbers in college than John. So like when John left, I was like, oh, the NHL must be easy. This guy's freaking lighting it up. Little did I know, like, he was like super serious and very like dedicated, and I was like out having fun, and it wasn't that easy for me. But no, Jonathan Toews was it was so fun. We would, me, him, and a couple of other boys, Ryan Duncan, Taylor Chorney, in between classes, like 3 times a week, we go to the rink. The rink's wide open, and we just sit there and play games like that, like flipping it over the net, like seeing how close you can get to the boards and still get it over the net, like things like that. That was just like our daily thing that we did. And but me and John really pushed each other a lot and also had fun. He helped me become like a little more serious and a little more geared towards working out, which I'd usually try to hide in the gym so like the guy couldn't see me. I'd go behind these big pillars. I'd just sit there, and when he would move, I would like move the other way. And then I think I was good for John too, because like when John would get, he would need to kind of like get out and have fun. He'd come up to me and be like, "Osh, like I need to get. Can you take me out tonight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bud. Like, let's go.
We're going to Joe Black's.
I'm your guy. We're going to Judy's, little double wide trailer that only sells 2 kinds of beer and plastic cup." Yeah, so he was kind of the most, like the biggest name that people would know, but so many guys in there were so good to me. Taylor Chorney, who I played with in Washington, and and Ryan Duncan, obviously. Ryan Duncan was mine and Johnny's line mate, and Dunk won the Hobie Baker. So that goes to show you how good of a player he was, just lighting it up. So
when did you in that year, or wait, I think it was your draft year, maybe, your last year, not your draft, your last year in college, where you had the shift with the reverse hit?
Oh yeah,
the YouTube special. Who was that against?
That was against Nate Prosser.
Oh my God! You play against him.
Yeah. Our dads knew each other in Anoka growing up before my dad moved out to Seattle, and I didn't know who it was. Like I was like this even in the NHL. Like I would, hit guys. I had no idea that they could like beat the hell out of me, right? So like I just like play and go, and yeah, that reverse shoulder back then like wasn't like really a big thing yet, and there wasn't TV and YouTube clips like there is today. So I end up catching a lot of people off guard, and now that I know Nate, I actually saw his dad 2 nights ago at a hockey tournament in Minnesota. Like if I would, now that I know him, like how nice of a guy he is, I'm like, I feel so bad about it.
He comes to say hi. You reverse him at the hockey.
Oh yeah, like there's no way he was coming to hit me there. You know what I mean? He's like, all right, I'm gonna go like lean into him, and I just, it's that kind of football player in me a little bit that likes the contact. But no, those are some good times. I would have gotten fined, suspended so many times if like those hits were still today. But when you have a full
favorite one is the Rick Nash one. We were talking about that. Because the first one at home in St. Louis, you did it, came out of the box. Matthew and I were sitting at 2 rows in the corner. We're staring at you, just covered right down. We're like, there's no way this guy is staying still here. Smoked him. Then that scrum. Then I think it was like a home and home. Then he did it on the. He was on the PK. Just what a route you took too. Just like, okay, I'm going to come across the middle. Just what a reverse. Oh man, we were so fired up.
So I think we honestly just leave the puck there. We honestly learned that from you. That was like a new skill that nobody, like you said, Datsuk would do it. You would do it. Like very few guys would do it. It was awesome.
I was a slow running back in high school. And so I couldn't get to the outside. I wasn't fast enough. So that was like just lower your head and just run guys over. And that's kind of how it kind of just transferred a little bit.
Oh my God.
Well, I know you kind of answered this already, but there's a great group of guys in St. Louis, for the start of your career. So who are some of the guys that kind of took you under their wing? I heard a funny story about you warming up Jax's bed. I thought that was awesome. But are there any other guys that kind of helped you out your first couple of years, kind of learning the ropes?
Yeah. Well, I mean, your guys' dad. I mean, Walt was my locker partner, like as a rookie, like in the locker room, and so he definitely. No, we
mean like good influence, not bad influence.
Yeah. Well, no, he was pretty strict on me, man. He was. I was petrified of Big Walt, like in the locker room. But like in a good way. I think he kind of saw the fun I like to have, and was just like, you can like have fun, but like let's play some hockey here too. But no, he was Walt was awesome. The stories those guys told are just phenomenal. You guys have had it your whole life, but Jax was like my big brother, and I warmed up his bed on the road. I was a super rook, but like in a good way, where I was like, I'll do anything you guys want. Like, just don't kill me. I've never been in a fight before. Whatever you guys need, I'll do it. But man, and then Paul Correa was there. And so to hear Walt and Paulie go back and forth is literally all time. Some of the most fun I've ever had in a locker room was them going back and forth with each other. And then you mentioned Bergie and Perry. Bergdog was my roommate. We were super close friends. He was in my wedding. I love that guy to death. Steiner, Backus. I mean, anyone that's from St. Louis that knows kind of that group that we had was it was super special. We had a tight locker room, and I was super fortunate to spend 7 years here.
Did you, I don't want to say like feeling towards, but that summer you got traded to Wash, like, did you have a feeling that was coming, or when it happened, like, were you super rattled or were you excited? Because we were looking at it, like, you go from the Blues, who are a sick team, to Wash, that was like probably a better team too. So it's like kind of like that awkward feeling where you're probably a little upset and rattled that you're leaving something that was a good thing going and you guys were so close, but you're going to a team that might be winning it that next year.
Yeah, I was honestly upset until probably my retirement speech, honestly. Like, that's how long I was mad about this trade. And I think just because I personally felt like I gave the team everything that I could give them on the ice. Like, I would, on the ice, I did everything I possibly thought I could, and I thought I played exactly how the coaches wanted me to at all times. And when you're not winning, you're not like getting over that hump. It's always like, what is it? Like, why can't we do this? And when you're the guy that gets traded, you're like, holy, like, they think I was the problem. Like, that's why we didn't win. And then you're like, shoot. And you have whatever kind of feelings you have about that. I was pretty upset about it. And but then, and then going to Wash, I talked to Brian McClellan, and he's like, it's the opposite. He's like, you're our guy. You're the guy that's been missing. You're the guy we need. And so the feeling was gone, but like kind of almost like in my own head, like the grudge I held against, everyone involved that traded me. I was like, I want to beat you guys by 15 goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
not my buddies. Like, I feel bad. Like, my buddies are like just kind of hitting the crossfires, but my old teammates in St. Louis. But like that trade, you're just like, for me personally, I didn't want out. Like, I wanted to retire a Blue. You guys know what the alumni association's like. You're like all the alumni presence. I was like, I want to be part of that. And yeah, so I just felt like defeated and almost that when the trade happened.
Yeah, it's so funny you said that about like wanting to beat the shit out of them too, because like my first game back, well, it didn't even take me to my first game back in Calgary, but like when I got traded and signed, I was like, all right, like, this is great. Like, I've got no ill will for anybody. Like, I'm just so happy, like, for both sides, everything. And then they started talking about how they're like a better team because of the trade. And I'm like, fuck you. I hope you guys don't make playoffs now. I'm like, I thought we were all friends. And then now this, like, now I'm like checking the scores at first thing in the morning. Like, all right, how'd they do last time? Like, they won damn. I'm like, I feel bad because like some of my best friends are there. But once they started talking like that, I was pretty pissed.
No, do you remember that first call that you had that you were named to the Olympic team? Like, where were you? Who was it? And I mean, I can only imagine how you felt, but just kind of like a dream come true.
I actually don't remember. It's weird. Like I'm a very like day to day, delete the day before kind of guy. Mm-hmm. And so like I don't remember any of my like 99% of my goals or like stories on the road. I got a terrible memory. I don't know. But I remember that there was, I don't know how it worked, but USA Hockey gave Scott Burnside maybe access to like in the room when they're like making their selections of like who's going to make the team, who's not going to. And so I think it was like kind of out there that I was going to be like on the bubble and that my shootouts were going really good that year. I think by the end of the year, I was like 9 for 12 in the NHL season. But I do remember like calling my family and letting them know. And that's the one thing that really sticks with me because like, my family's like, they're all crying, it's like a dream come true. And I kind of live in the moment and don't feel that emotion usually right away. Yeah, just like telling my mom and dad that I was on the Olympic team was just like the coolest thing, not only for me, but like for them too, right? Because of all the sacrifices they made, I wasn't in Warroad my whole life. I was in Seattle where hockey was very tough. We had to go to Vancouver, BC every weekend to play games. We had to play in a Canadian league and I think Pee-wees and Bantams. And so it was just very, very tough. They ended up getting divorced. I don't think it's, because of me or because of that. I'm not like holding something in right here, but like it's hard, right? It's hard on them. So just for them to like kind of have that moment and be able to watch me, and hockey wasn't big out there at all. The Kraken weren't there. And so for me to be like in the news in Seattle to like on the news station that they watch every morning was a really big deal for them. And so that's kind of what sticks with me. Like now looking back, and what I remember is the impact it had of being named to the team on my family.
That's incredible. I saw what you said the other day too about how every Olympic winner has had a Warroad, Minnesota guy on the team, and Nelly, right, is from Warroad.
Nelly's from Warroad. Yeah, he was my senior year. He was a second year Bantam.
So that's good. That's good for us. We need that good carb on our side.
Yeah. That's the whole reason they selected me. They're like, he's from Warroad, and he has a shootout just in case. Let's throw him on the fourth line with three other players, and we'll just see what happens.
Okay, so this was my all I thought about too. And you mentioned that exactly. So let's go to the Russia game real quick. We're jumping right into the shootout. First of all, did you know that if you went into a shootout, you were going, like, no matter what? Did they tell you that before, or was it just you had a feeling?
Well, the article came out from, I think, ESPN that like I was, I forget who someone wanted Saad on the team, and David Poyle was like, but what about Oshie with that shootout move? Like that's like, I think that's quotations what he said. And it was in the article before we were even at the Olympics. So I assumed that like if we went into a shootout, I would go. And because we knew like a gold medal could like come down to this, we practiced it every practice. I think I only shot on Quickie once. He didn't really do a lot of them. He did a couple. But I shot on the other guys a bunch. And
just lighten them up.
I was having a good time with them.
That's kind of like what I wanted to like imagine. So obviously like you're doing so well in the practice, and then you get in the game, and then you go, first of all, how long before that shootout did you play? Like what was your last shift? Because it was at a 20-minute overtime probably.
I mean, it might have been like, I might have had one shift in like a 45-minute span, I'd say, before the shootout.
So you're just cold. You're just sitting there. You're
so
freezing your ass off.
Biggest, longest benches, and like it was just me and my four buddies. Who was with me? I think it was Staz was with me, Blake Wheeler, and Patch Reddy. That might have been our fourth line. But yeah, I mean, it was like most, we kind of just hung out, and we knew like one guy wasn't going to get a shift every time. So we had like our own like little buddy system. And but most people don't know that. My first time down the ice, I literally got out there, and the first time I touched the puck, I was like, man, my stick feels so long. And I lose the puck at the blue line my first time down. I'm trying to stick him, and I lose the puck, because I hadn't been on the ice for a while. And so I was kind of, going in cold, but we had pre-scouted, and I knew I was going 5-hole, like 95% sure I was going 5-hole on the very first one, unless he did something weird.
And probably at that point you knew like, all right, I'm going down once. And then once you go second time around, they switch up the order. So then you're going second, have to score again. Once you scored that fourth one, you were probably like, all right, don't even look at me, coach. Like I'm just going out.
Yeah, there was multiple times where I was like, honestly, I was having a lot of like, it was like, it's fun to me, right? Like a little piece of you deep down like hopes you go into over like extra shots so you can go again, like maybe like 1% of you, 99% wants to just win the game. But 1% of you is like, maybe if we tie this thing after 3, I get to go again. And, and so this is selfish, but like, I just love shootouts. So we get to, once we get to like the fourth shot, I kind of have like a good feeling on like what he's doing, but I go down so slow. And on the Olympic rink, they weren't like waiting for us. They weren't making like a big show out of this thing. Like I almost had to like hustle more to the bench than I did like to the goal. And so I was actually getting a little tired. Like we mentioned, like I wasn't, when you're cold, like you're not just like, I don't know. I'm not like a super fit guy. so there was one point where I was like, all right, I'm just going to go in the D side. I think that might've been the fourth shot. And I was sitting at the end of the D bench, and I kind of look back, and I'm like, do you want me to go again? And they like, Dan Bilesman literally started laughing. He's like, yeah, go. And I'm like, all right. But like Kaner's there. Pavelski's really good at shootouts. Everyone, like Zach Parise, we talked about North Dakota. He was like the guy at North Dakota before me. So like he was a game I went and saw on my visit. And I was like, man, this guy is phenomenal. And so like, and how hard he worked and how skilled he was. So like he was on the team. He was like one of my idols growing up, from like high school to the college scene. So,
and here you are just hitting him with the Heisman to get out there for your 17th shootout.
Yeah. Dude, I honestly felt bad. I felt bad that the other guys, like it had to be boring, like just sitting there watching like someone else gets every chance.
When did you realize though, like how, like, wow, like this is sick. Like how impactful that was too for like, cause I remember we didn't even start our game. We were at a youth hockey tournament in Blaine, Minnesota. Like just, they delayed it because the shootout was on, just kept going. People were locked in on the TV. Like when did you realize like the significance of that moment?
I think it was I was roommates with David Backus, and so after the game, I go do all the media stuff. I think NBC had like a whole studio set up there, and I'm going on all the different shows. And then I get back in my room, and I lay down, and you know Bax is an old soul, so he's like already sleeping, and so I feel bad. So I like get in my little bed, and I pull up my phone, and back then I don't think Instagram was around, so just Twitter, and it was like. My Twitter followers went from like, I don't know, 25,000 to like 135. And I was like, what is going on? And like, this is like, and then like, I think the next morning, Barack Obama like tweeted, like the White House handle tweeted me. And I was like, this is like, it's just a shootout, guys. Let's all settle down a little bit. But it's because you're out there, right? We're not around. Like there's your American, like couple American fans, but it's not like we're at home and everyone's like, the crowd's getting up. I mean, the crowd was pretty upset that we beat Russia. So, it took a little bit for sure.
And second to last question here, TJ, I think like a big thing too is like when you obviously go to the Capitals, like what is your first interaction with Ovechkin, or like what's a story that everyone knows about, like the subway, the soda, like what's something that people like kind of don't know, or like what was your first interaction with him?
Very first interaction with O. Gosh, it wasn't so like nonchalant, man. It's not like he's like, first time I met him was like, what's up, babe? And he just it's not. There wasn't like a lot of like we didn't really need to get to know each other really. I was like personally intimidated by him, but as far as like the shootout stuff, there was he never mentioned it one time. We've never talked about it ever. And I don't know if it's just he doesn't think about it, or I don't know. I assumed it would be a salty subject and there might be a little tension there, but the very first time we worked on shootouts, end of training camp, I think the team's kind of selected or whatever, or for the most part, there's a couple guys left, and we do shootouts, and they get like the 4 or 5 guys, and like Ovi's obviously one of those guys, and so we're all taking a knee at center ice with the pucks in the middle, and I'm not going to go before Ovi. It's like I just got to the team, and we're just sitting there, and he kind of looks over, he's like, well. And I'm like, what? And he's like, go. And I'm like, no, I'm not going first. And he's like, go. And I think he had to like stood up and like grab me by the jersey. He's like threw me down the ice. And so I was like, all right, I guess we're all good. And
that's one way to break the ice.
Yeah. But I mean, the stories with this guy are just all the ones that pop to my head are just not good for podcasts. Maybe a campfire, a couple beers. But he's just a one of a kind human being.
The best is everything I've heard is true. Like all like the stories that you think are not real life are so true. So that's great. Before we get to the last question about your wingman of your career, I have to ask, probably the highlight of my summer is spending the week with you and everybody in Lake Tahoe at the American Century Championship. what do you have up your sleeve this year for the beer baseball? Yeah, I guess it was called beer baseball or beer whatever it is. First of all, just explain to everybody what event you've put on, because that's probably better than the actual golf. It's definitely better than the actual golf.
So my very first year at American Century Championship, we're in like the Diamond Lounge of the Harrah's Casino. And honestly, at that point, so this is 2014. This is 2014, right after the Olympics. And so I think John Miller was at the game, I believe. And that's kind of like how I got invited, was like everyone was doing like their media stuff. And I was like, they're like, what do you like? I'm like, I love golf, whatever. And so I got invited like solely because of the Olympics. And I've just been riding this ever since. And so we're there, and there's like people throwing around money. I like did not really do that very much. I like to play cards on the plane and stuff, and I was like, I feel like I got to get like something going. So it starts out as just, I'm going to play Flip Cup in the Diamond Lounge. Chucky, I don't think you've seen it. There used to be a lot of tables in there. There was tables like all over the place. And so we pushed a bunch of tables together, and we started playing Flip Cup. Brett Baer plays. We play him for like 20 push-ups, smoke him. He did all 20 too. Like, and then that's kind of how it started. And then the years kind of got going, and we were playing beer pong. And then we brought baseball in around when Miles Teller got there, and he grabbed me in the pool and was like, "Oh, what?" Or he's like, "Hey, are you playing in the tournament?" I'm not like a big golfer. This is before Top Gun Maverick came out, and so like I knew who he was. I'd seen some of his movies, but he wasn't like uber mega big star. And so I was like, yeah, this is where you go. This is what you do. By the way, every Saturday night, we always have like a little Flip Cup beer pong tourney if you want to play. And then it just kind of started snowballing. And then Chucky, you came along. And so I can't tell you what I have up my sleeve this year. I got to get invited, but even if I don't, I'll send it your way, and you could carry on the tradition, which I'm completely fine passing it down. But we got some good stuff. There may be talks of a couple sponsors coming in, and so. But so for anyone out there that doesn't know, beer pong Flip Cup baseball is it's like a mixed game of beer pong and Flip Cup, and it's two teams. Typically it's three, but we fit 4 massive gentlemen around this little table, and it's. I think you could probably Google it. I don't want to explain it without like the actual visual, so you can't see the table and the cups. But what an unbelievable! This is not. I never intended it to turn out to like something like this, but I feel like people have gotten on board, and we've had some fun with it. And I got hit for the first time. I don't even think he meant to. 2 years ago when Travis Kelce, like, we're going to play Flip Cup on the side of the table, and I almost went flying and almost started a legit wrestling match because I'm too competitive. Could have eaten me. And but Chucky, you've been a huge addition to the group and bringing more guys in, and it's been awesome. Brady, we got to get you out there, dude.
Oh man, it sounds like an absolute blast. My golf game would be atrocious, but I'd like to think I'm bringing an edge to it.
No, Oshie's like the glue culture guy of the tournament, and I'm just trying to follow his lead with it. So, and that's
I'm just picturing like the Godfather. Everybody's like, "Hey, what's up, Osh? Good morning. How you doing? Can I come? Can I come tonight?"
Guys are begging.
I don't know. We'll see about you. We'll see.
They and now it turned into like it's like Thursday night, Friday night's a little bit like less, and then it's like Thursday and Saturday. The last 2 years have been absolutely epic. So I can't wait for this year. I'm kind of nervous but excited for what you have up your sleeve. But final here, and this could be a simple like one name, maybe a quick reason why. But we do a segment on the show. We always end our shows with our Wingman of the Week, and we'll do it of like it could be anybody. It could be like a restaurant owner, a former coach. We try to do like a hidden gem somewhere. So anybody that's helped you along the way. It could be somebody from Warroad, Nodak, St. Louis, Wash. I mean, anywhere. But is there anybody out there that helped you personally just kind of like help your career at some point, maybe when you need it the most, or just help guide you a little bit?
That's a tough question. A wingman. I thought we were just going to go hockey, and I was like, oh, it's going to be an easy one. Nicholas Backstrom. Like,
well, yeah, that could be, it could be easy. Like we had Mike Ruzioni on, and Brady, what did he say? He said his college line mate, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So I'll give a brief story. I tend to ramble when I get on the podcast, but there was a guy, his name's Tony Selvag, still lives in Warroad. Great guy. He was the captain. Like captain of the hockey team. He was like our leading point getter, whatever. When I moved to Warroad, I'm still am, but then I was very, very shy. I think my first day of school, my dad didn't set up like my lunch money stuff. And so I literally just sat in the corner of the lunchroom by myself, didn't talk to anybody. And so I was like, could not make friends because I was too shy. I couldn't like speak to people. I was a weird Seattle kid wearing like Abercrombie. They're all wearing like state tournament hoodies and like Letterman's jackets. You know what I mean? I literally, first day of school, I wore a jean jacket with like a Abercrombie, like number whatever shirt and like matching jeans and like white sneakers, like Nikes, and like no one dressed like that. And so I'm just like this weird kid. Anyways, Tony Selvag leading into, at the end of football season, leading into hockey, I didn't have my license yet. And so he would like kind of took me under his wing. I don't even know why. I guess I've never really asked him why, but he kind of took me under his wing and like introduced me to like the hockey guys and the hockey crew and brought me around. And so I think that he kind of brought me out of my shell a little bit. I might have got there anyways, but he definitely played a large part in that. His family kind of took me in. I stayed at his house all the time. He literally lived like in front of the rink. So there wasn't anything in between him and the front doors of the rink. And so Tony Selvag, love you, brother. But yeah, he was my wingman that kind of helped me get it all started in Warroad.
I love it. Shout out Tony, wingman of the week for us too.
Let's go. Selvag.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. Go light up OBs tonight. Tell Jimmy and all the boys we say hi. Jax. Everybody, we appreciate our friendship. Both Brady and I consider you a good buddy of us, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in person more games now that I'm back in the lineup. Hopefully we get some National League games. And
let's go.
If not, we'll see you in playoffs, hopefully, and then we'll see you in Tahoe.
All right. Thanks, brother. I'm tell you what, I am so excited for like the opportunity that you guys have to go to the Olympics again. I think it's great that the players are back. I know you two will represent us very well, and super, as someone that played with your guys' dad and then played against you guys, I'm just super proud of like what you become. Not only like hockey players, one thing, but getting to play with you out in Tahoe and spend some real time together is, you're a good guy, and, just super proud of you. And I can't wait for you and Brady to go light it up there. Take care of the Canadians, something I was never able to do, not one time in my career. So, but yeah, you guys are awesome. I think the show's great. You guys are doing good things for hockey, and good luck. Hope you boys stay healthy and go win the gold.